All right, family, we are back for another one. I am MarshaunO, your favorite life and relationship strategist. We are talking about staying versus leaving because of the children. Which one would you decide to do if you were in the situation where you and your spouse were always constantly fussing, fighting, and even being abusive toward one another, or one person being abusive toward one partner, and the children are there to witness it all? Do you decide to stay because you want your children to be in a two-parent home, or do you decide to walk away because of the abusive situation? And there are a plethora of other reasons why you can decide to stay or go. But I am here to just allow you to think. Allow you to make a conscious decision, especially if you are in this situation, to make a conscious decision to say, you know what, maybe I should go. Or maybe I should stay based off some of the things that I'm going to mention to you today. So I want you to really think about your children, not yourself, not your spouse. Really think about your children and what they would actually have you say, or what they would want you to do, how they would want you to respond, the life that they would want you to live, versus you're doing this for him or for her. So let me just tell you that I do not advocate for divorce, but I also don't advocate for you two fussing and fighting all the time and it being a very toxic environment, and then you're raising children in this toxic environment. See, it's one thing when it's just you. It's one thing when it's just you and your spouse. It becomes another when it's somebody else, i.e. your children, or even other people's children that get to see the way that you guys respond to one another, the way that you guys are showing up with one another, and how very toxic it can be to have your children as well as other children see you in that way. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because a lot of people are asking me this question, especially during this day and time where a lot of parents are still home and the children are still home, and they're able to see the dynamics of how the parents are really with each other all day long. See, it's different when they get to see you for a few hours at a time, like after school or after some type of a gathering or something. It's different when you're in the household with your spouse day in and day out, and they get to witness the toxic behavior day in and day out. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I am not an advocate for divorce. However, if you two cannot be civilized enough for your children to take on the positive behaviors that they'll be able to implement in their lives when they grow up, then I say it's better for you to walk away, to split. And the healthier of you two, yes, the healthier of you two, to take the children. Or you two can do 50-50 custody. But I do not advocate for staying in the household when there's any type of abuse and toxicity, especially when you guys are not trying to get any type of help. So let me just tell you some things why you should not stay for the children. Okay? Don't think that you are helping the children. You're actually harming the children in the long run. Now, here's one thing that I do want to mention. Does it affect the children? Yes, because it is a disruption. It is not something that they were grown into, or born into, I should say. And it's better to have two healthy parents. Now, that is the key. Two healthy parents in the household, so the kids can grow up and those are the most successful children. Like, let's just be honest, in life, those are the most successful children. Those are the happiest children, the healthiest children, etc. They're able to express themselves emotionally. They just have it all around pretty good. However, when you have children that are coming from a toxic relationship background, they exhibit some of the exact same behaviors. So yes, there will be a disruption. Yes, there will be some acting out. It will be an adjustment period. It's not going to be easy. And research actually shows that it takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years before your child or children to kind of even kill out. So as you going through the divorce, yes, your kids are going to be a disruption. They're going to notice that there is a disruption in their lives as well as your life, because everything that they've known is going to be ripped away from them. Even if it is a toxic environment. Kids don't know that. They just want their parents to stay together. They want to see you guys holding hands. They want to see you guys cuddling. They want to see you guys, embracing each other, right? So if you're not doing that, if you're constantly fussing, if you're constantly fighting, if you're constantly arguing, if there's some type of hitting, like abuse outwardly or even emotionally, right? The children pick up on a lot more than we even give them credit. So yes, there will be a disruption in their lives, but children are very resilient and they can handle it. So again, after the first year or two, they will be adjusted and they can have really, really happy, healthy lives and even relationships, as long as you are the example. As long as you say, you know what, enough is enough. It's not just about me anymore. It's about me and my children. It's about our wealth. It's about our well-being. It's about our health. It's about our sanity. And in some cases, it's about literally living. So with that being said, as I mentioned, as I mentioned, kids pick up on more than we realize or even give them credit for. They know when the parents are not happy. Again, they're going to ask you, to say sorry. They're going to ask you to hold hands. They're going to ask you, how come you're not talking to, the father or the mother? They're going to ask you questions that are going to be very awkward and very hard for you to answer. But trust me, they absolutely know when you two are not happy in the household with one another. They can pick up on your energy, and they can even see it and even hear it, right? And so I actually was reading something recently, an article where it was a therapist who was actually saying that parents think that kids, just because they don't hear them or see them on a regular basis fighting, that they don't realize or understand what's going on. And basically this therapist was articulating that that is actually a falsity. Even when children are not exposed to it on a regular basis, or if you decide to fight out of sight, they still see your body language. They still see the way that you guys interact. They still hear like a lot more, again, than we give them credit for. So don't discount your children and their emotions and their feelings and what they actually see and understand. Don't discount that. The second thing is that two happy, separated parents are better for the kids in the long run. As I mentioned earlier, it is going to be an adjustment period, but kids are resilient and they can adjust after that 1 to 2 years, depending on the child. They will adjust, but they see that you are both happier separated. They can become thriving, healthy adults in their own healthy relationships. The next one is the child learns bad parenting skills that they carry on to the next generation. They learn. Our behaviors, our habits are usually learned, and most of it comes from our childhood. So if you're being a bad parent, your child will, unless they decide to, grow, seek and get some work done on them, which a lot of people don't. Some people do, but a lot of people do not. And so we have a lot more toxic people in relationships, which makes the relationship toxic, versus people that are getting the help and trying to turn everything around. So please understand that. Please understand that. Please understand that what your child sees you doing is exactly the behaviors and habits that he or she will exhibit when they get into their own relationship. So please understand that. You're also, and we as parents are also teaching our children what it means to be married, what it means to be a husband, what it means to be a wife, and how to effectively or not deal with conflicts in a relationship. So we are the teachers. They're watching us. And so if you're being very toxic, if you can't just hold an actual adult conversation where you're listening, your children won't be able to do it either, because they exhibit exactly what we show them. They exhibit our same behaviors. They do the exact same thing that we do when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling like I can't handle this conflict, so now I need to do X, Y, and Z. Your children will do the exact same thing. The last thing is that unhappy parents tend to raise unhappy children. and that leads them into having unhealthy adult relationships. Now, if you need some other reasons on why you should not stay just for the children, I made a video a while back and I will actually link it here. Go and watch that video as well. And read the comments in that one, because there was at least one or two where person that was watching the video was a product of a toxic environment. And she basically said everything that I mentioned was true. But you go and read that for yourself. I love you guys. There's nothing that you can do about it. My name is MarshaunO. For those of you who are finding my channel for the very first time, and I am a life and relationship strategist, and I help Christian women stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift you to feeling heard, understood, and appreciated, all while creating the very, very deep connections that you seek. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye now.